All right, well, we made it to Lansing, Michigan, and hopefully you can see in the background over there is the Capitol building. I've got a little bit of walk to go. I saw a parking spot and thought, well, I'm just going to park there. I'm not going to mess with it, rather than drive all around down in this big city here. So let's get on our way.
Are you recording?
I am. Why? Because it's my goal to visit every state capital in the United States.
Is 143 years old. It's a very historic building. If you look around, you see all the photos of the Capitol. You can see wood carving of the Capitol over here. If you direct your attention to this side, see some photos of the construction of the Capitol. It took them 6 years to build it, from 1872 when they first started, up until 1878. That's when they finished the big metal dome up on top of the Capitol. So 6 years to build the building. Total construction cost, a lot of students ask, $1.5 million. $1.5 million. It was a lot more in the 1870s than that would be today. And like I said, the building opened in 1879, 143 years ago. A fun fact, even though the building's 143 years old, this is not Michigan's first Capitol building. This is our third Capitol building that we've had, and Lansing is our second capital city. Does anybody know what our first capital city was? Anybody know? In the back there? So that's our U.S. capital. So that's our U.S. capital. Close. But what was our first state capital? Right here.
Detroit.
It was Detroit. Back in 1837, Michigan first became a state, and Detroit was our first capital city. That's where most of our people lived at the time, was in Detroit. So it made sense that that's where our governor would work at. So our first Capitol building right up here was in downtown Detroit. We worked in that first Capitol there for 10 years, 1837 until 1847. 1847, we decided as a state to move our capital city here to Lansing, and Lansing more in the middle of the state. Detroit's kind of down at the bottom corner. Why is it a good idea, students, to have the capital in the center of the state rather than down in the bottom corner? I'm gonna go back over here. Yep.
Because sometimes people like to live more north and south.
Sure. Yeah, people like to live all over the state, right? When the capital's in the middle, it's kind of closer to everybody that way. And so we moved here to Lansing in 1847. The problem though is that Lansing was not a city yet in 1847. It was a big forest. And so when the capital first moved here, they had to build the city up from scratch. They had to build it from the ground up. And as part of that, they had to build a temporary building for our governor to first move into in 1847. So this one was our second capital. It was a small little wood building that sat across the street. They ended up working in that building for 30 years, up until 1879. We moved in here. We've been in this building ever since. Okay, and the cool thing about the Capitol today is that even though it's 143 years old, it still looks and feels exactly like it used to. So as we go through the tour today, go into the rooms, go through the hallways, and it's going to feel like you're walking through history. It's going to feel like you're walking through the 1870s when the Capitol first opened. Now, a couple quick rules. I'll get to our questions as well. Thanks for your patience. As we go through the Capitol, we're going to stay together as a group. There's other school groups upstairs on field trips, so we're just going to stay together. Best way to do that is if we stay in a straight, single file line. Okay, so I can lead you through our hallways. This is really important on the staircases. We're going to go up 91 steps on the tour today, all the way up to floor 3. The stairs are really steep, and they're made of metal. So the best way to go up the stairs is if we stay in our line. We're going to stay on the right side of the staircase, and please keep your right hands on the staircase rail, just like I do, okay? So you're watching your step and being safe. If you can do me a favor, take a look down your shoes. Make sure your shoelaces are tied if you have laces. If you don't, you're all set. Okay? And finally, if you have questions, just like you're doing so far, raise your hands, and I'll get to you. Thank you for your patience. I'm right here first. We're going to go up to floor 3. Yeah, which is pretty much up to the top. Right here.
Are we going to be able to see the governor?
That's a good question. So I don't know if we'll see the governor today. Can you tell me the governor's name?
Say hi if I could see her.
Do you know the governor's name?
No.
No? What's the governor's name?
Gretchen Whitmer.
Yep, you got it too. Yep, Gretchen Whitmer is our current state governor, so I don't know if we'll see her on the tour today, but we are going to see her office on floor 2. Yep.
So, are we going to use an elevator?
Yeah, we're going to take the stairs up if we can. Yeah, right here.
So was that building really that big? Because all the little buildings right down there with that big.
You're talking about our second capitol here? So it was bigger than the other Lansing buildings, but it was still pretty small. And in fact, it looked kind of like a barn that was across the street. They called it the old
Oh,
barn.
so that was just.
Nothing too impressive.
Oh, I thought that was like the actual size compared to
Nope.
the
Nope, no, that'd be massive. Right here.
It's the second capital. Where is that?
Good question. So the second capitol is right across the street from here. It's no longer there anymore. It actually burned down in the late 1800s. So this is the only one of the 3 capitals that we have left today. Right here. Who was our first governor? He's famous. His name was Stevens T. Mason. And Stevens Mason was our first state governor, and he's famous because he's the youngest state governor that there's ever been here in the United States. He was 24 years old when he became our first governor in 1837. There's never been a governor younger than him. So good question.
So he was the youngest and the first?
He was the youngest and the first. Yeah, he had a fun nickname. His nickname was the Boy Governor because he was only 24 years old. Yep.
Our teacher told us that they would show a picture and ask us
Who was the first governor?
Yeah.
So yeah, remind me, and I can show you up in the House chamber. We'll see a big portrait of him. Big painting of
This
Steve.
kind of picture you'll see too.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay.
Actually, when they called him boy governor, also the governor, he didn't like it. Actually, one time he punched the guy for calling him.
Yeah, he wasn't a big fan of his nickname, the Boy Governor. He felt he was a full-grown man and he was doing a really big job, so he should have been more respected. But the media, the people who wrote about him, getting nicknamed Boy Governor, and I think it was just kind of for fun. But he wasn't a big fan of it. So with that, guys, thank you for your patience. We're gonna hold on to our questions till we get upstairs. For now, though, we're gonna stand up, make sure everything's with you. We'll form a line to the back door.
Oh, let him through first. He's the leader. Okay, we're gonna have a single file line. Don't worry about line leaders.
We're on our first stop on the tour today. We're on floor 1 of the Capitol. And before I begin talking about this room, in order for you to get the best view of the entire Capitol, okay, what we're going to do, quietly go ahead and lay down on your dash, and as you come here, we're going to look straight up.
Here, Jack, I'll take it.
Alright, so laying on our backs here in this big room, this is called the Capitol Rotunda. We're right in the center of the building today. Laying on your backs, you can look 160 feet straight up into the Capitol dome. They are called allegories. What an allegory is a symbol of something in Michigan that's so important to us, we're always trying to make it better. We're reaching for the stars on it. So there's one goddess up there who represents artwork. She has a paint palette in her hand. There's one up there that represents education or knowledge. She has books in her picture with her. One up there for agriculture. She has pumpkins in her painting. One up there for science and industry and justice and government and money or wealth in the state. So things we're always trying to reach for the stars on and prove that are so important to us. So we're up at the governor's office here. A couple things here. As we talked about downstairs, our current state governor is Gretchen Whitmer. Here's her picture. I haven't seen her this morning. We don't know exactly what her schedule is, but this is called the Ceremonial Office for the governor. This is the office the governor can use for special occasions. If the governor is giving a press conference or a speech, they can sit at the podium and give a speech from here. You might see it on the news at night. If the governor is signing a bill into state law, that can happen. It's back there. We'll talk more about the lawmaking process later, okay? But this is called the Ceremonial Office only for those special occasions. The governor's day-to-day office, where I'm betting she's working right now as we speak, is at another building across the street from the Capitol called the Round Table. And over there, the governor and her team that helps her out every day have a lot more space to work in than they do in the Capitol. So this one only used a couple days out of the year. Now there's a couple cool things when you come up to the front doors that you want to see. On each side are door hinges. These door hinges are original, 143 years old, made of bronze, with the picture right in the center. Raise your hand if you've seen that picture before. Where have you seen this picture at? Raise your hands, please. Right here. Yep. Yeah, on our Michigan state flag. You can see our flag behind the desk back there, right? On our state flag, we have that picture. Repeat after me. This is called our state coat of arms. Very good. Our state coat of arms is kind of like our state logo. Every state in the nation gets to design their own coat of arms.
Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. First time in the building?
Yes.
Fantastic. These are the Capitol. They are original. They're called our Michigan chandeliers. What makes them a Michigan chandelier is the animal up top. That's the same animal we have on our coat of arms that we discussed. That is the elk. Next to each elk, there's a small shield with a Latin word. Repeat after me. Tuibor. Very good. Tuibor is Latin, and Tuibor in Latin means I will defend. And Tuibor, I will defend, is our Michigan state motto. Next time you see our state flag, you'll see the elk and moose on there. Right between them, you'll see Tuibor, I will defend. Are they laws yet? No, let's make them, right? You know what they're called before? They're called laws. Right? No. I'll come back to you, okay? Yeah, thanks for your patience. The representatives working down there, they come up with a good idea for state laws. Let's say here in Michigan, every Friday at our schools, we're gonna have ice cream for lunch. Who says yes to that? Do a quick move. Yes, I think we got a majority there. So representative comes with the idea of ice cream for lunch on Fridays at school. So what they'll do, they write that down in a packet. That packet is my bill. And they'll bring that bill then to the next session, to the next meeting they have. At the next session, they'll talk about it. Now there's 110 people. Do you think all 110 of them are going to like every single new idea?
No.
Right, sometimes they do. Nice when they happen, sometimes they don't. So during the sessions then, that's when the representatives will talk about the idea. There's speaking podiums down there with microphones. And so if a representative would like to stand up and give a speech about it, they go to the nearest microphone, they raise their hand, and then once they're called on by the Speaker of the House, that's the representative who works the big black chair in the front and actually runs the meeting. They bang the gavel a lot too. Once they're called on by the Speaker of the House, the representatives can give their speech. If they think it's a great idea, they really like ice cream, then they'll list out all the reasons why they think it should be a law. If they don't like the idea, they'll list out all the reasons why they don't think it should be a law. Well, let me ask you this. What is the point of them giving their speeches? Why do they want to talk about it in this room? Why are they talking about it so much? Right, they're still making it right. And once all the speeches have been given, what they're trying to do is convince each other or persuade each other to either like it or not like it. Because once the speeches have been given, then they'll take a vote on it. If it gets enough yes votes here in this room, it'll move past the House. It goes over to the Senate. We'll see later. In the Senate, they do the same thing. They'll get that bill for ice cream for lunch on Fridays. They'll give their speeches about it, and then they'll vote on it. If this bill gets enough yes votes here in the House chamber, gets enough yes votes over in the Senate, it has one final stop before it becomes our newest state law. Who has the final say on whether this bill becomes a new official Michigan state law? You guys know. Let's say it quietly on three. 1, 2, 3. So on the U.S. level, it's our president. What do we have instead here in the state of Michigan? We have our governor. Right? Goes to the governor's desk. We saw downstairs. From there, the governor has two options. If the governor likes it, the governor will sign the bill. It becomes our newest law. You guys get a bunch of ice cream on Fridays. Or the governor can say what to it. And say no to it. The governor says no to the bill. It's a special word called a veto. The governor says no to it. It's not become a law yet. They have to keep on working on it. Why would the governor say no to this bill? Why would the governor say no to ice cream for lunch on Fridays? Yeah, it's not the healthiest idea, right? So get ice cream for dessert, but for lunch, probably should eat something a little bit better, right? So just make sure we know. So that's how a bill becomes a law. It has to pass the House, pass the Senate, and then be signed by the governor. This is something that happens pretty much every day in the Capitol, and there works on thousands and thousands of bills each year. Only a very small.
Hi, folks. Well, with only the Senate chambers left for the group to see, I kind of abandoned them right here. The fellow gave a good lesson to these kids, and the kids were very receptive. I was almost amazed. And it was fun going along with these kids and learning about the operations of the government of Michigan. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know a lot of it's hard to understand what he's saying, but turn the volume up and maybe you can hear it. So this is just my first Capitol on this tour. I've got 12 more to go, so I'll try to get better as I go along. How's that?